In today's video, we're going to be testing out my BlazeX M3 on some different materials. This is the kit that comes with the Max bundle. And there are a lot of materials in here. So we've got some wooden coasters, a slate coaster, a piece of black acrylic, 2 cork coasters, a live edge piece of wood, a metal name tag, a leather type material key hanger, and a couple of aluminium business cards. So I think I want to start easy, and I'm just gonna go for the wooden coaster first. My name is Randy and I like to make art and do crafts. So I'm just gonna start by placing the coaster roughly in the center. I think it's heavy enough to stay put. So now I'm just gonna try and focus the machine, and I'm doing this while it's off so I can just move it. I'm just going to put down the little knob on the side, hold the head of the laser and loosen the screw on the side and just move it down, and then tighten the screw on the side and flip the little lip on the side up. It should be focused now. So I'm just going to close the lid, and this time I took my old laptop out of retirement and I downloaded CutLab. Let's go and connect it. So I'm gonna turn on the machine. Because it's already set up, it will connect automatically. So now we need to figure out how to put our design on top of the wood. So first I'm just going to open up the file. We do need to be a little bit patient because this is a very old laptop that I took out of retirement. So it takes a little bit for it to work. So I think I want to start out with this design. So I'm just going to open it. And it's going to ask me if I want to replace the background white color with transparent, and I'm going to confirm. So as you can see, it's way too big. So let's get it to a little bit of a better size. And if you want to center it, you can go on top here and move it to the center. Let's see what it does if we preview it. It looked at least on the right spot, so I'm just going to move it up, and I do want it a little bit smaller. So this is the part that I think takes the longest. So let me just try and get this to be at the right spot, and then we'll go from there. So I think I've got it. And for the coaster, I think I'm going to use the plywood setting. So 60% power, speed at 5000, and interval at 0.1. So I'm going to put it on monochrome. The speed is at 5000. I'm going to go down to 60% power, and the interval is already at 0.1. Yeah, the only thing to do now is just to start. So I'm going to let it run, and we'll get back to it when it's almost finished. So we're at 93. As you can see, it goes pretty fast. And this time I also connected the machine not through Wi-Fi, but through the cable. I did use one of my own cables because this is a little bit longer and my laptop is to the side, so I had to shimmy around some things, but I think it's almost done. And it's done. It took almost 10 minutes, so that's really fast. So let's turn off the machine. And I'm going to turn off the air purifier here so you can actually hear me. And let's see how it did. I'm just going to push it back and take it out. So as you can see, it's a really nice carving. Let's just brush it. As you can see, there's not a lot of soot. I might have wanted it to be a little bit darker, but this is the M3 on a piece of wood. Let's go to the next one. So the next thing I want to try is cork. So I'm gonna put this in here. Before I'm actually going to focus the machine, I'm going to show you a different program I found, and that's actually LaserGRBL. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but I think it is. So let's see if it finds the machine. I'm gonna turn it on, and I think it should be COM3. And I'm just gonna connect it, see if it finds it. And the way to know if it's actually connected, I'm going to home it. I keep forgetting I need to close the door. So as you can see, now these buttons are actually usable. So I'm just gonna home it for now. And now we need to open our file. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same file. And you can see this is a little bit of a different interface. So I'm gonna keep it at black and white. I think we're just going to keep it at smooth. And I'm also going to keep it on line-to-line tracing. I think horizontal is probably good. And my lines, let's just keep it at 8 for now. Yeah, I think that looks good. So now we're going to put these settings, and as you can see, this program already recognized the model, so it says M3. And because we're doing cork, I'm going to put the laser at 30%, and I'm keeping it at 300 dpi. It's 19 centimeters, so that's way too big. Let's go for, I think, 90. Let's see what that does. Let's see what it does when I frame it. So it's going way over to the left, so I need to figure out how to get it on top of the little cork. So let me figure out how to do that again. Figure it out. I just reloaded it. I'm gonna let everything stay the same. Just gonna go next. And what I did is I didn't change anything about this. I did make it a little bit smaller. It should be about 8.5 centimeters wide. And I changed the x-axis to -90 and the y to 0. So as you can see, the little cross is in the center. And I can show you that on the machine because I have this button here that turns it on to focus. And as you can see, the dot is in the center. So I think we're good there. But now I'm going to frame it just to check. So it's on the inside there. It's on the inside of the top. It's on the inside of the side. And the last one is also on the inside. So I think we're good. So now I'm gonna focus the machine. Let me first put it at the center. So you just double click and the machine goes to the place you clicked it on. I'm just gonna open it. I'm gonna do the same thing as I did before. I turn the little knob on the side down, unscrew it, let it down, screw it tight, and up the little thingy. So now it should be focused. If I turn it on here, it should have a very tiny dot. And as you can see, it has a very tiny dot. Let's just see how it goes. It says it should be about 5 minutes. I really love these pop-ups. And as you can see, it's really, really quick. And what I like about this program, you should be able to change the settings. Ooh, this stinks. I think 30% might be a little bit high because it's really, really dark. You can actually change the settings while it's burning. Ah, here it is. So I think what I'm gonna try is once it finishes coffee, I'm going to turn down the power a little bit. But this little thing is why I like this program a little bit more, because you can turn down the power. So I think it's a good thing if you buy this machine to download both programs and try for yourself which one you like. So it's almost there. Okay, I'm gonna turn it down. Let's see what it does. So I think this is better. The placement, however, is pretty good. So I'm gonna let this run and I'll show you when it's done. So as you can see, it's actually almost done. And I don't know if you noticed it, but it says about 7 minutes. The speed settings were the same, but this program, LaserGRBL, is 3 minutes faster. So that's another plus for this program. And it's done. Okay, so let's turn the machine off. And let's have a look. I'm just gonna move the machine out of the way. And I do prefer to do that when it's high, but there you go. That's it on cork. So I think I might want to turn on some different settings next time. But as you can see, there is some overburn on the edges. So I think I need to make the machine go over the edge a little bit more so it doesn't double down on these sides. Okay, so let's see if we can fix that burning edge issue. So I'm just doing the same thing. And the only thing that I'm gonna change is I'm going to go for M4 dynamic power. And I put my minimum power at 5%. The last time we had some burning, so I think I'm actually going to put it at 28%, see if that helps. The rest I'm going to keep the same. Let's just run it. And hopefully with the new settings, we're not going to get that dark edge on the sides. So I'll show you when it's done. As you can see, now we're getting really nice smooth edges and no extra burning. So I think the M4 setting is the one we needed. So it's almost done. I'm really excited to see if it's actually better than this one, because you can clearly see here on the sides, it's just charred. And there you go, all done. Look at how perfect it came out now. You can see clearly the difference on the sides. Can you see? That part is so charred and that one is absolutely perfect. So using LaserGRBL, you need to pick the M4. But yeah, cork works perfectly fine. Let's try the next material. So let's prepare our little aluminium card. So we have 4 colors and I think I'm just going to go for black, and I think I'm going to tape it to this because what I found out is that the magnets it comes with are a little bit too high when you put the focus on and then the machine hits them. So I think I'm just going to use some masking tape. I'm just going to put it on the very edges something like that. And I measured how high the opening is, and that's about 8 centimeters, just so I know how big I can go. And I'm just gonna place the board inside of here, and I'm just going to focus the machine right away. So I'm just gonna power it on, pick COM3, connect, and I'm gonna open up my file, and this is how it's looking right now. So I'm gonna choose smooth. This I could go darker like that or brighter, but you must keep in mind everything that's black, that's the part that's going to be engraved. So we're going to turn it around, so making it a negative picture. So this is how it's gonna look. So as you can see now, the eyes have not a lot of definition. So I'm going to lower this, and we have a little bit more of definition here. So I'm keeping it at dithering, and the option I heard was the best is Jarvis. You have a couple of others, like you can do random. This also looks kind of okay. I do have a little bit more detail here. Let's look at this one, not too bad. I actually think that Jarvis is not giving me the details in the eyes that I want, so I might actually go for this one. Like this is the original, and this is what's going to be engraved. I think I'm going to keep the lines horizontal. I could go diagonal. That actually doesn't look that bad compared to this. I kind of like the details this is giving me. I'm looking mostly at the eyes and the nose. Maybe we should try just something different, so let's do that. The speed I'm going for this time is 1000. If I look at the parameters, it says 30% power and speed at 5000, but I'm pretty sure that's way too fast, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm keeping it at 1000, going for the M4. My minimum value is going to be 0, and my maximum is going to be 15% power. I need to change my size because we checked and it was 80, and I think I might want to even go a little bit smaller, so 7.5. Let's do this. I'm very interested in how this is going to work out. So here's my file. This is what it's looking like. So I need to figure out where it is. So I'm just going to jog to the left corner. Let's just frame it, see what happens. It's actually not too bad. I think this is going to work. You know what? Let's say that this is good. So it says it's going to take about half an hour. So you know what? Let's just go. And I'm just gonna let it run, and I'm just gonna show you when it's done. So I'm gonna say it right now. I know I made a mistake. I should have changed the background to a black color, because now it's taking off the whole background and I only needed to do the dog. So yeah, we could have done this way faster, but it's okay. It's probably gonna be fine. So it's done. So let's turn off the machine. It took a total of 35 minutes, so that's actually not too bad. So let's see how it did. And I'm already going to tell you one thing. I probably picked the worst picture I could have to test out, because it's a light colored dog on a light colored background, but I really wanted to show off that it could be done. So this is what it came out with. This is the original picture, and this is how it came out. So I think that's a win. But I want to try something else, and that's to use CutLab to add his name underneath, just to show you that both programs can be used to do this. But I think LaserGRBL is better for pictures, but I know that CutLab is easier to target, at least because I still haven't figured out how to target in LaserGRBL correctly. So let's see. Let me just open up the program and go from there. So what I want to try is add some text. And I haven't done this before, so I don't know if I can change anything. Let's see which font. Oh, look, there's a lot you can choose from. Let's go for this one. And we want it bold. I think we do want it bold, but I want it to be filled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my move tab, this one. I'm going to scroll down and you're going to see set origin. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move my laser to the spot I want it. I think this is it. I'm going to set the origin. This is probably way too big. We want it like maybe 3 mils. Okay, maybe a little bit bigger. I think it needs to go a little bit to the right. Set origins again. Okay, that looks a little bit better. I think this is going to be fine. I'm going to go back to my settings, and I'm going to slow it down to 1000, and I'm going to set it to 15%. And I'm actually going to lower the lines interval, I think to 0.8. I'm going to keep the overscan at 0. And I'm just going to try this. And I just wanted to show you this because both programs have their usability. I think CutLab is great, but for pictures, it's kind of hard to get the right settings. But for doing text, you can see this is way easier than to having to import a file that you already pre-made into LaserGRBL. And this was easier to set up on the right spot. And it's done. I think it worked. So let me just turn off the machine. And let's just look at it. I really wish you had a different way to pulling it up and down. So it was a little bit big, but you know what? I think that actually doesn't look too bad. I'm just going to show you what I didn't show you before. This part here, that was my first try, and using these settings in the booklet, I used the 30% power, 5000 speed, and 0.1 interval, and this is what happened. So I decided to run some tests, and this one's the test I did in CutLab, and I just couldn't get the settings right. And as you can see here on the top, that's the one I did in LaserGRBL. And you can see that's a massive difference. So I do think you should test your settings beforehand, because this was 25 minutes lost trying to get this to work. And with some testing, look at how good this is looking. I'm really happy with the results. So I must admit, I did some changes to the picture on forehand. I removed the background and I also changed the DPI. I also sharpened it up and made sure that my dark and light was standing out. I used Krita to do so. I think that was time well spent. And let's go to the next material. Okay, so change of plans. Because this video is already way too long, I'm going to make a part 2. So in this part we did wood, cork, and the little aluminium business card. All 3 materials we tested came out absolutely perfect. So if you want to see how the M3 works on slate, like acrylic, stainless steel, and leather, you can find that in part 2. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's free and it really helps the channel. If you have any questions, just leave them down below in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But for now, I want to thank you for watching and I'd love to see you in the next one. Bye everyone!